Buffalo Bills versus the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona versus Miami, that was a lot of fun. We don't get oh, we do. So we'll talk about Tua in just a little bit. But Arizona, oh my gosh, Kyler Murray balled out yesterday. And I was looking at it because I was watching the game and I saw him trading touchdowns, but I had the Steelers Cowboys game on just because that game was more interesting than I thought it would be. So I was kind of glancing over at the Miami game and looking over, and they were trading touchdowns. At the end of the game, I'm kind of looking back and reconciling the stats. I'm like, what in the world happened here? Because Arizona probably should have won that game. I saw the turnover on down. Basically, Arizona, they just gave up some opportunities. They really probably should have won that game, in my opinion, but they didn't. And that's what matters in terms of your record. Just didn't win the game. But, man, Arizona, I think they're going to give Buffalo some problems because Buffalo – and Buffalo, great win against Seattle, handled Seattle. And Seattle, I knew Seattle was in trouble when Chris Carson couldn't go out. Once they couldn't really run with that physicality that Chris Carson brings, I think that's how you beat Buffalo. But I think Arizona, even though they don't have that physicality, they're going to be able to run the draws up the middle there. So I'm really intrigued by just the X's and O's behind this game. But let me hit you with fantasy stuff. Josh Allen's a start. Zach Moss is my start at running back now, Buffalo. You called that a couple weeks ago, David. Very good. Stephon Diggs, I love him this week. I like Cole Beasley this week. Not John Brown, not Gabriel Davis, but Cole Beasley as well. Stephon Diggs, staying away from everybody else. Arizona, Kyler Murray, how could you not start him? He's playing incredible. You start Chase Edmonds this week. We'll see what goes on with Drake's status as we move on. DeAndre Hopkins, I think, gets back in the end zone. Yes, I respect Buffalo's ability to cover up the sidelines and everything, but I do think DeAndre gets back in. Christian Kirk at this point might be a weekly start. Everybody have been talking about him as well in recent weeks. He's just getting into the end zone since he's been back off the injured list, and then I stay away from everybody else. Take it away, David.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole ton to cover. You hit on most of it. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins had a down game. You don't really worry too much about that. Chase Edmonds didn't look so great in that lead back role. There's a bit unfortunate to see, especially as a Chase Edmonds. If you have him on your roster, you're kind of hoping he's going to take this gig and run with it. It's looking like when Kenyon Drake returns, it's probably going to go back to being that split committee. So if you can sell high on Edmonds to someone who's desperate for a running back, you don't need him as much. It's something to consider, that's for sure. Kyler Murray, holy moly, right? You said, I mean,
what a game.
It's the rushing. He has 60-plus rushing yards in 6 out of 8 games. He's only got less than 60 rushing yards in 2 games, 29 against Detroit and 31 against the Jets. So 29 and 31 are his 2 lows. He's got a rushing touchdown in 7 out of 8 games. So obviously, at a certain point, that's going to regress back towards the mean.
Sure.
But he can pass the ball. It's not the same concern with Lamar Jackson that we had last year to me, because you just see Kyler Murray. Look at the touchdowns he's passing, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 his past weeks. He's passing the ball for 300 plus yards in the upper 280s. So he can do it all right now. I mean, the schedule down the stretch is not exactly brutal. We have Buffalo this week, then Seattle, New England, which will be, we'll see how he does. Then the Rams, the Giants, the Eagles, and then finishes the fantasy playoffs against the Niners. So absolutely, Kyler Murray, you don't trade him for anything. I mean, you don't swap him for any quarterback. You don't overthink the rushing touchdown regression. I mean, just ride him while he's hot.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the guy. Like, if it weren't for, I've been saying, like, Russell Wilson's my MVP, but we'll see how the last half of the season goes, because Kyler Murray's got to start getting into this conversation if he's not already with people. He's really doing some special things. And Josh Allen, if he can play every week, he started the first 4 weeks of the season on fire, played incredible. I wasn't sure if we were going to get the bounce back game against Seattle or not. He definitely like 415 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then 1 on the ground too. If he can close out the season like that, he's got to be in the MVP discussion. 2 really good teams playing. I think another week we're going to get a lot of points in this game. I do think that Arizona can run the ball more effectively than what Seattle was able to do last week with DJ Dallas and Homer. So let me get you with the line here. Buffalo on the road plus 1.5 versus the Cardinals. Who do you got?
That's a tough game. I definitely don't want to pick this one either.
Right.
Buffalo, I feel like I've been chasing last week's game every time I've picked them this year. So I'm going to just pick Arizona, because I feel like Buffalo is just kind of likes to break our heart a little bit. Every time we buy in, they let us down.
I picked Seattle last week against Buffalo. I'm actually going to pick Arizona this week against Buffalo. And again, I say this, and Bills fans are probably getting sick of me saying this because I really do respect the team, but I think Arizona actually, although I still think, and yes, I know the Cardinals beat the Seahawks, I still think Arizona, when we get to the playoffs and Seattle, has Carson, I think Seattle might be the better team there in terms of making the run. But that's not to say Arizona is not the team of this division. It really depends on really what this team can do under pressure and in pressure situations. This is a big bounce back game for them coming off a loss. I want to see what the team does. I believe in Arizona and Kyler Murray. They should have won that game last week, I think, against a very good and underrated Miami team. Good for Arizona, good for Buffalo. I can't wait to watch. I'm not picking it in my bets, but I'll take Arizona with you.